Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing my Project Pan check-in. I was supposed to do one probably about a month ago and I just ran out of time, if I'm perfectly honest. I ran out of time and it kind of slipped to the back of my mind, and now here we are out at the end of August, and I should have done it at the end of July. So I do apologise, but we're here for our second check-in of the year. When was my first check-in? Let's see. My last check-in was at the end of April, so obviously we're coming to you at the end of August, kind of like 4 months on, so apologies because I was supposed to do them every 3 months, so I might have slipped there. So I've got this check-in, one more, and then the end of the year. So hopefully it'll still be okay, but we'll see. Let's just get straight into it and talk about the products. Shall I scoot slightly here? Is that better? Then I can put a picture on here. Normally I apply the Project Pan makeup to my face as I talk about the products. As you can see, I've got a full face of makeup on today because I won't be doing that because there's like barely any makeup left in the Project Pan, which is always a good thing. So today I thought we'd just quickly update you and rattle through some of the products. So the Anna Sue primer. In April it was 15.39 grams. It is now 11.55. It's empty, okay? It is empty. There is, well, I mean, if I can get anything out of that, that would be great, but I don't want to. It's empty. It's done. I'm very happy. I can now put that into my empties. The next one is the Beauty Kitchen Raw Inventions, Mineral Shield Daily Primer. This in April was 26.42 grams. It's now 25.50. I did use it quite a lot. I mean, you can see in the pictures there's still some left, and I'll try and get this to focus. That you can still see there's some left in there. To be honest with you, I don't want to use this up anymore. I don't actually like it on my skin that much. I don't know if it's just because it's old or whatnot, but what I'm going to do is I want to clean it all out because I think this would be a really great travel pot for earrings and things like that, because it's kind of a good size and you're not going to lose it and it's sturdy. So I am going to keep the pot because I really like the pots, but I'm going to say that this is done now and I'm going to retire it into my empties because I don't want to use it anymore. So done. We go into foundation, and guess what? I finished it. This is the CYO foundation. I've got mine in the shade 103. This is a discontinued brand. It used to be in Boots. It was such a shame because it was such a beautiful foundation, one of my favourites. Because it discontinued, I was like, there's no point in holding on to it. Might as well just enjoy it. So that's why it was in my Project Pan. This was 27.86 grams in the end of April, and it was 23.12 grams when I finished. I did put the lines on here so you can see. It does look like I've got a tiny bit more, but I promise you there is nothing. Like, you can pump and pump and pump and nothing's going to come out of here. Maybe there's one drop. You ready? 1, 2. Like, I'm not messing around with this anymore, okay? It's done. Let's just swatch this out because it was such a lovely foundation. Look at this. I mean, this wouldn't even cover half my face now, but like, oh, it was just so lovely. It was so rich. I loved it. I loved every moment of it. And it's finished. I finished the foundation. I'm very pleased with myself. So this can be retired into the empties. I'm very pleased about that. The 17 concealer was 12.69 grams at the end of April. It's now 12.49 grams. I barely used this and I took a picture. I mean, I've been shaking it around because I've been like, talking with my hand. I'll flash up a picture of what it looked like one day, and I was like, that looks like I'm not happy about putting it on my face anymore. I never truly liked this. I'm sure you'll know I never truly loved this. It was very, very pale. I mean, too pale for me. And I tried to use it as an eye primer, but really the coverage wasn't there. It was very thin. If this was my shade, I probably would have enjoyed it a bit more, but it's not. I'm just gonna say it's done, even though it's not done. I'm decluttering it, okay? If you don't think this is done, I'm decluttering it, but there's still a lot of product in there and I just don't enjoy it, and I think it's gone off, so I'm going to retire this from my Project Pan as well. The Wet n Wild concealer was 17.2 grams in April. It's now 16.67. There's like a little bit left in here. I reckon I'm going to keep this going for like a couple more months. There's not a great deal left in there. I reckon by the next check-in this will be done, but yeah, it's like got this much left in it, so it might be that I have to pick up another concealer for this project. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I'm going to just keep this going for as long as I possibly can for now. The Smashbox palette. So I didn't actually have weigh-ins for this palette just because it's so big and cumbersome. I just feel like I'm never going to get to the end of this. Whatever happens, by the end of this year, I'm getting rid of this and I want to just rip it apart basically for the mirror, because the mirror is absolutely massive in this and I love the packaging. But in here, I mean, you can see nothing's really happening. I've tried to get through these three as much as possible, but they're not like the greatest powder, if I'm honest. Like, it's just nice. There's nothing that I'd necessarily write home about. They're just nice. This is the only highlighter I've been really using. This one here is a little bit chunky and a little bit sparkly. I don't really like that. This is the only highlighter that I find is actually nice. Like you can just see from even back there. This is the only one that's actually nice. Let me swatch it. Like this is the lighter one, and it's very sparkly, and then this is like the golden one, and it's far more sheeny. Like you can just see that it's more sheeny. So I don't know, whatever happens at the end of the year, I think I might take these 4 out perhaps, and then just get rid of the other 5 pans. I'm not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying picking this up. It's the only face palette I have, including my bronzers, and the only highlighters I have, and I'm just not enjoying this palette. This is the only highlight I reach for, and sometimes I'm just not into a gold highlight. I want something else, and sometimes I just don't want these powders. So especially because it's been summer, I've been actually applying more cream products as well. So we're going to still try keeping on with this one, but we'll see. I think it's possibly the only one that I'm like moderately disappointed with, if I'm perfectly honest. The L'Oreal powder is possibly another one that I'm just like, will you please just hit pan? Oh my gosh. This was 51 grams the end of April. It's now 50.76. That sounds about right. I mean, when it's summer, I'm a dry skin queen, okay, I'm a dry skin queen. When it's summer, I don't like to powder. I just rather put some creamier products on and not have to set it at all. That way if it melts off, it's not cakey looking, it just melts off naturally, and I can just blend it out with a brush without adding product. This just will not pan, honestly. I've been able to see that little square, you'll be able to see it in the actual pictures, but I've been able to see that square in the middle of that pan for so long, and it's still not hitting pan. It is a lovely powder, it has got some colour to it. It is a tiny bit too fair for me, but it's nice to just set the eyes or set under the eyelids or just set underneath the jawbone if I feel like my bronzers come down too much. It is a nice powder. If I'm honest, like between this one and the Smashbox one, I prefer this powder every single time. It's just nice and smooth. So I'm not going to get rid of it quite yet. I want to still keep it in the project, but perhaps at the end of this year, I'll just get rid of it. If I haven't, like whatever I've not finished, I might just get rid of it by the end of this year, because it's nice, but it's old and I can't keep everything, you know. Okay, the 2 blushers. I've got 2 Kiko blushes, both from the Gold Waves collection. I have number 2 Coral Sunset. This one was 69.05 grams at the end of April. It's now 68.84. Not a lot. I didn't use a lot. I've used this a couple of times. This is very, very shimmery. It's baked formula as well, so I'll probably never really get to see the true progress of this. The hump of it has been taken down a little bit. Like you can just about see the hump of it has gone down a little bit, but I probably never hit pan on this unless I used it every single day and it was the only blusher I used. I don't like it that much to do that. If I was going to declutter one of them, it would be the Damask Mauve one. This one looks nice on my cheeks. It's a little bit sparkly, and I do have to set it with a setting spray just to not look so powdery, but it's okay. It's a nice blush. When I then go to talk about the Damask Mauve blush, so this one was 69.33 grams at the end of April. It's now 69.3 grams. No difference really. I have used this once, maybe since April, and like, what's the point if it's gonna be right in front of me and I don't even want to pick it up when it's right in front of me? I should probably declutter it. I think the reason for me wanting to get rid of it is because I'm just not the right shade. Like, this is very purpley. It's a lovely purple and I love a purple blush, but it's just not warm toned enough for me, and I think with my skin there's something about it that just looks like a bruise on my cheeks and looks very grey and ashy. So I think I'm going to get rid of this. I might just declutter it and see if anyone wants it. It smells lovely, but I don't think I'm going to get any use out of this. Not enough to take up this much in my collection. I'd rather just get rid of it. So I am actually going to get rid of this. We then have the e.l.f. Brow Pencil. So the e.l.f. Brow Pencil was 5.5 grams at the end of April. It's now 5.36. I say it's now 5.36, but I completely used it up. I tried to twist it up one day and literally the nubbin snapped off and there was maybe a tiny bit of use left. I wouldn't repurchase this pencil again on the basis that once you start to use it a bit more, it kind of turns into a bit of a soft nubbin, and I prefer something sharp and quite precise for my brows, simply because they're not very bushy. If my eyebrows were bushy, then I would really like this and I'd recommend it. It's only £3. It was lovely, but it's just like a tiny bit waxy and messy for my brows. I have very thin eyebrow hairs, so it was just very obvious, you know. But if you've got thicker eyebrows and you just want to kind of add a bit more colour or like cover up a scar or anything like that, this is pretty good. I like it. It's just not very good for precision, but it's finished now anyway, I don't have to buy it again. The Colourpop Brow Boss Gel. This was 7.64 grams at the end of April. It's now 7.41. I'm going to say that this is done. I did say that by the end of this, if it hasn't got a gloop on the end of the wand, then I'm going to get rid of it. And it doesn't anymore. To be honest with you, when I applied this through the brows, I tried it on last week and I was like, oh, there's nothing left. And I had to pick up something else because all it was doing was combing through my brows. So at that point, you just know when it's time, you know? So yeah, I finished this one as well. I told you I was on a roll. Guess what else I finished? I finished my Mario Badescu spray. I did actually write the time, not the time, I wrote the month on this. This was 72 grams at the end of April, and I just weighed it a minute ago, so at the end of August it's now 30.7 grams. I'm really happy with this. I didn't actually write down here. I forgot to write down like the next date, but to be honest with you, I was using this pretty consistently, and I used this up probably at the end, if not mid-July, I used this up. So I really liked this. I know a lot of people say it's just fancy water, but it did a really good job of just rehydrating my face. I wasn't like, I didn't feel like I had to use this sparingly like a MAC Fix Plus because it was expensive or anything like that. I just kept dousing my face in this all day long. I took it to work. Aircon is awful. It dries out my skin. So I just like went into the bathroom sometimes, or even at my desk, and went and it just rehydrated my skin. And it smells lovely, and it just made all my makeup kind of like merge into one. I really liked it. It has a little bit of glycerin in as well, so it makes like the makeup look a little bit sheeny, like it's all one. But yeah, I finished it. Really, really happy. Last but certainly not least were the Fenty lip paints. Now I have Unbutton and Uncuffed, these two here. I did say that I didn't necessarily want to finish these. It was just to get more use out of them this year, and I could have possibly changed them out halfway through to the end of the year, like now, but I think I'm just going to keep them in because I'm quite happy with these two in here. The Fenty lip paints were 93.51 grams at the end of April. They're now 93.33. I'll be honest, I haven't actually been applying these since June time, so for the past 2 months I just haven't had these on my lips. The reason is that I've been wanting to try other things. I've been experimenting with more glossy things and different lipsticks. I've been trying to just survey what I have in my collection. So although I really like these and I do like applying them, I just wanted to try other things, especially in summer. Like I just wanted some fruity looking lips, and these are very nude and very, very wearable, but I was just getting a bit bored of the colours. But I'm going to keep them in because why not? They're good colours. I wear this sort of thing every day, so I'm going to keep them in the project. So that is literally it for my project pan. I got through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 products are coming out of my project pan. Very, very happy about that. Only one of those 8 as well are a decluttering one, like the blush is the only thing that's being decluttered. The other 7 things are things that I've actually finished. I do think the way I've done it this year, by not completely crowding myself with too much product, is the way forward, because it just gives me one thing to focus on. So of course there are some gaps in my collection now. I am going to put the powder, the blush back, the 2 lip paints are back as well, and I'm going to put the face palette back as well too. I do have another Mario Badescu spray. I do want to just use these up. I have a shorter one, and when I get to the shorter one I'm just going to leave it, but these don't fit in my drawer very well. They're this much too tall, so they keep knocking down, and that frustrates me. And because I enjoyed this one so much, I was like, hell, let's apply this. So this is going to go into my project. I'm actually not going to bother weighing things I can draw lines on. I feel like it's more beneficial for you to see the line every single month as opposed to the weigh-ins, because the weigh-ins don't really tell you a lot. They're helpful for the powders. I think that's the only thing they're helpful for, because you can see the progression on these things as opposed to a tube you can't see through or a powder, things like that. So I'm not going to bother weighing these because I just can't be bothered, and it'll probably encourage me to film these videos a little bit more often if they're less hassle to prep for. So this Mario Badescu spray is the Aloe, Chamomile and Lavender one. It's the purple, and August's there. So that is the end of August right there. There it is. It's going into the project. There's like a good 3/4 of this left. If I can just get down to here by the end of the year, that'd be great. If I can finish it by the end of the year, even better. Obviously I have no primers as well. This right here, the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, came out of my chopping block videos. I'll link that up in the eye if you want to go see that. I need to do another one of those. Crap, I haven't done that in ages. And I've actually been using this since May, and I've been updating myself, even though I've not kind of been showing you. I've been showing the progress on that, and it's been pretty consistent. I don't know if you can see that, it's been pretty consistent. At the end of each month, I've been putting a little line on. I thought I hated this primer, and actually I really like it. The reason I'm putting this in my project pan, I really like it and I wouldn't want to use it up. But someone said to me, or someone left in the comments, that this should be really clear and that when it starts getting green, it's going off. So I was like, oh damn, like this is an expensive primer. So I've decided I'm gonna put this in my project pan because I wanna get as much use of it as possible. It's not breaking me out yet, which makes me think it's not completely gone off yet. The smell is still exactly the same, it's just the colour that's changed. So it worries me a bit. I see people on YouTube with this primer and it looks swamp green. Mine at the moment is just looking like a sagey green, and I feel like if I use it up, I can save it before it goes properly off. So yeah, the Milk Hydro Grip Primer is going to go in my project pan. Like I said, I'm not going to weigh it, I'm just going to show you the lines at the end of the month so you can see how much I'm using. Exciting. Again, I've got a foundation that needs replacing. I picked up this one because I'm not sure if it still sells, but it's a drugstore foundation. It'd be nice and easy. I won't feel guilty using this up either. And it's something that I probably won't repurchase just because I picked it up to see if I liked it. This is the Max Factor Healthy Skin Harmony Miracle Foundation in Warm Almond. This is a touch dark for me, if I'm honest. So this would be a really good foundation to just mix in with other things as well, so I don't feel like I'm just using one foundation. It is a little bit thicker in texture as well, so I'll have to use less. I have got this line here. Again, I wasn't going to bother weighing this either because it's a glass bottle and I can see through it. It's just easier for me to draw the line, but if you guys want me to start weighing it, I can absolutely do that. It's not really a problem. You can just see there I've written org. So I've left this to try and settle as much as possible. I then got my little scrapey tool. I got this little like silicone scrapey tool, and I just kept like pushing the product to see where I could actually see it, and that's where the line is at the end of August. So there's a good third already gone. I reckon there's another 2/3 to be used up there. I think I can actually get through this before the end of the year. So this is the one foundation I'm going to enter in as well. As far as brow gel goes, obviously I've used up my Colourpop one. I'll be perfectly honest, the one I use every single day, like my go-to, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze. I was going to put that in the project and I was like, there's no point because I'm going to use that up anyway. I genuinely love using that. So I thought I'd go into my drawers and find something that I'm not necessarily use up that quick because I love my Brow Freeze and it's the one I use all the time. So I thought I'd pick up the St. Lux Brow Gel. I really do like this, and there's not much left, to be honest. I reckon I could probably by the next check-in be done with this, so I might as well just use it up and get rid of it. At the moment this sits at 8.63 grams, so we'll find out how much I can use, and I'll just, like I said with the Colourpop one as well, I'll just keep using it until the product doesn't give me anything. You know, when the product stops giving me something, then I'll stop using it. So we're going to use that one. I've also, for concealer, got the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Creamy Concealer. Mine's in the shade Light 45W. I have no idea about this. Every time I applied it, I was a bit like, I'm not sure about this. I know I already have my Wet n Wild one, which I forgot to put back in the box. I know I have already my Wet n Wild one, but that was kind of on its way out, and this one I haven't tried in a long time, so I thought I'd just pop this in the project pan. I haven't used a lot of it. It currently sits at 32.59 grams, quite a bit, so let's just see how much I can use of this, why not? And then finally, for blushes, I've got two MUA blushes here. I'm going to treat this a little bit like I treated my Kiko blushes, of not necessarily wanting to use them up, because I just never use these blushes up in, what, 4 months time. I just never do it, but I want to try and get some use out of them and just enjoy them, and if I feel by the end of like the project pan year, similar to how I did about the Kiko blush, of just I don't like applying it, I don't like it on my skin, I avoided it, like I looked at it and went, not today. If I feel like that, what's the point of keeping it in my collection? So I've got this one, which I think I'm gonna love the most. I think this is, yeah, Papaya Whip. This currently sits at 41.74 grams. I think I can get a pretty good use out of this. These are pretty powdery as well, and they're really easy, nice and blendable. This is a beautiful, just like peachy, corally pink blush. I love it. I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. And then I have the Atomic Tangerine blush, which currently sits at 42 grams exactly. This one looks really daring, but actually when you put it on the skin and blend it out, it's just like a really nice pink toned blush. So I've got a peachy and a pinky toned. I'm going to put them both in the project, see how much use I can get out of them. Like I said, I'm not anticipating using them up at all, but you know, if I decide that I don't like it on my skin, or I try it with different foundations and different techniques and I'm like, this looks hideous and I hate it, what's the point of me holding on to it, you know? And I don't pick these up over everything else. So I think it's a good idea to include those two. And that is it. Hopefully I tried to whittle through this as quickly as I possibly can. There's nothing actually exciting that I'm showing you on my face or anything like that. It's just the update of how the products are doing. I think I've done really well. I'm really, really pleased with myself. I've got through so many products. I'm really happy with how I'm doing so far, and I think this is the right way of doing it, having one product at a time in each category to have ultimate focus. So yeah, obviously the only thing missing is like mascara, which I cycle through my mascaras anyway. I do have a black eyeliner. Is it this one? Yeah, I have my Super Cat liner. It's really difficult to even weigh this or anything, so I just keep it in my Project Pan bag, and if I want black eyeliner, I'll use it. I'll tell you if I've used it up or include it in my empties. It's not something that I can be bothered to weigh. What's the other thing? An eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is also the other thing I don't include in this Project Pan because I cycle out my eyeshadows all the time and I did not enjoy being restricted to a single eyeshadow palette. I typically do my DIY eyeshadow palettes with this to kind of just use it as my day-to-day makeup, so that's just what I do. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry that this update is late, but better late than never, I suppose. And I think the next update should be at the end of, technically it's supposed to be the end of September, which is only in a month's time, but maybe I'll do it in like the beginning of October time so that we can get one more check-in. Maybe I'll do it in October, one more October check-in, and then I have November to December to finish everything, and then in December I'll do like the final check-in of what I finished, blah 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 blah. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate you. If you do Project Pan, let me know. Let me know how you're doing with Project Pan. If you've got Instagram, tag me in your Instagram updates. I know that some of you post your updates on Instagram. I don't, because I'm rubbish and I'll just forget. This is why I do the videos. But if you do your Project Pan on Instagram, then tag me in it. I love to have a look and I'll give it a little like, you know. I love interacting with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I think I already said that. Thumbs the video up if you have enjoyed. Subscribe and ring the bell for all the notifications on the videos I upload. I upload 3 to 4 videos a week. So yeah, ring the bell and subscribe to not miss out on any more of that. Take care guys, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!